Titans and Doom Patrol Season 4 will be its final seasons, and it's not James Gunn's fault. More right after this. What is happening, Internet? K-Wing here, and before we get to the news, make sure you guys smash that like button and share the video with a friend. Always helps out tremendously because the channel has a lot of problems with YouTube these days, and because I'm burning the candle on both ends on my other channel, releasing about 150 live streams a month, which I'm amazed I'm not dead yet. I've been doing that for almost 4 years. It doesn't really leave me a lot of time to come here and do scripted content or even report the news because I only get about 5 hours of sleep a day. Anyway, so we're going to do like a shotgun version of this. What's going on? Is James Gunn and Peter Safran responsible for the cancellation of Titans and Doom Patrol? No. The fault lies with David Zaslav and his team. Why? Well, the media is still skeptical on the details, but from a source of mine, it sounds like budgeting reasons. You know, money, which is exactly the reason why Henry Cavill and a lot of other people were fired, is because salary concerns. Now, with Titans and Doom Patrol, if I'm incorrect on this, apologies, it is 4 a.m., I don't really care though. Basically, the shows were a lot more expensive to produce than the CW. Like, CW shows were very budgety, very cheap, the costumes were cheap, and the production values were cheap. Even the CGI was cheap. So they could pump out numerous spin-off shows, but Titans and Doom Patrol, well, they had okay CGI and effects. There weren't that many characters in each series, and they could focus on character development. And sure, sometimes they would film most of their stuff inside of a house, or maybe the woods, or, you know, factories or whatever. But, you know, for what they were able to do, especially Titans Season 3 budget was pretty high. I believe they were shooting in Chicago or Montreal, I don't remember, that acted as Gotham City. But there were a lot of Gotham locales that you saw in Season 3. Even though fans, you know, complained that the whole show that season was just in Gotham. But, you know, I think they did okay with their story arc. The only thing that looked ridiculous by the time the season was over was the Purple Rain. The CGI was terrible for the Lazarus stuff. Season 4, I mean, for the most part, it looked okay. They definitely, you know, upped the ante for the effects. And, you know, that might have led to their cancellation. Because you have to remember, David Zaslav made a very strict budget when he took over and told HBO Max for their scripted content, this is how much money you can use, this is how much you can pay the actors, and if you go above that, your show's canceled. So I think Titans got renewed originally for a 5th season before, you know, Warner Media exited. And once the new Warner Discovery team came in, I guess they went over the books and that was it. Now, Zaslav is a Scrooge. I'm not, you know, going to give him any passes. The man is kind of insane. I don't believe he knows what he's doing. Especially when it comes to scripted television and fan-based stuff. He's a guy that produced live shows, meaning like real-life stuff, you know, vlog stuff. I don't know if it's called vlog. I don't really watch Discovery. But shows that are not scripted or taped. It's, you know, like MTV The Real World, but for building houses and other things. I don't watch this stuff, so I'm not an expert. But I know that Discovery makes a lot of money on that type of programming, whereas Warner Brothers was scripted content. That's what Titans was, and it was Jeff Johns' baby, along with Stargirl, and all of Jeff Johns' projects are now over. Doom Patrol was a cult hit for fans all over the world for DC fandom stuff, and now that show's over, and it's kind of sad. Mainly because I feel bad for Brendan Fraser. The poor man just can't get a break. The Batgirl movie that he starred in was canceled because of like budgeting and, you know, tax reasons. It was a tax write-off, so that was canceled outright. He now lost the Doom Patrol show, and cancel culture is trying to come after him for his movie The Whale, which is actually probably going to win him an Academy Award, or at least it should, because he slays in that movie. You know, Brendan is a great actor. But, of course, cancel culture is after him because the movie is a true story about a man that needed to lose weight because he was going to die from being overweight. The doctors told him, you know, we don't think that you can survive this unless there's a drastic change. So the movie is actually a good movie because it teaches people, you know, it's not too late to change your life. But cancel culture doesn't like that kind of stuff because they believe that they can do whatever they want and no one can tell them different. Even if they are dying, a doctor is not allowed to say, hey, maybe you should reevaluate your life choices. So his movie is actually something that's good, but Twitter is trying to turn it into something that is bad and fat-shaming. This is the world we live in, people. It's insanity. But again, the Doom Patrol thing ending, it kind of sucks. What I will say is I feel kind of bad for James Gunn and Peter Safran because the internet is going hardcore after them, especially the fans of both Titans and Doom Patrol, blaming them for the cancellation because they're like, you're in charge of DC Studios, so this happened on your watch. When they're saying, actually, these shows were being canceled as we came in November. So the people that canceled it was David and his team. And I really believe it's because of just the budgets for the show. Remember, the Wonder Twins show was supposed to be like what? It was $200 million or something like that to produce, and David said no. The Batgirl movie was $90 million, and then he canceled that and said no. And then he canceled some other DC projects, yet the Green Lantern show was still happening, and now it does have Jon Stewart attached to it, but we don't know what the budget of the show is going to be. Before, it was going to be like a Green Lantern Corps thing, and it sounded really interesting. And now it's actually going to be the type of Green Lantern fans want, which is Jon Stewart, but nobody knows how much money is going to be able to be put into this project, and if it will ever see the light of day, pun intended. So, yeah, I don't really know what Warner Discovery and David is doing because people need to hear this. He does not know how to deal with scripted content. And it shows. Not just the cancellation of Batgirl, but also he's pulled the plug on classic DC content. And that's where I draw the line. If you did not know this, at the end of this month, on January 31st and February 1st, the Justice League Unlimited, Batman Brave and the Bold, Batman Beyond, and a bunch of Batman films will be leaving HBO Max and going off to other streaming services. And they have the Blu-ray version of that show. And me, I'm one of those people that the reason why I like streaming services is because I'm lazy. Sure, I have these things on Blu-ray and DVD, but I don't want to get off my tuchus and go to my PlayStation and put it in. I want to just, browse on my phone and be like, I got some time. I'm just going to watch something on my phone. Or, I'm going to open up an app on my PlayStation and go and watch one of my favorite shows streaming. I don't want to get off the couch at 2 in the morning and go put something in. I'd much rather have the convenience of streaming. And now all that stuff is disappearing. So personally, I'm canceling HBO Max. There's no reason to keep it. With Titans going and Doom Patrol going, and probably the Looney Tunes show going somewhere, maybe Hulu, I don't know. What's the reason to really keep? It's been a really weird first couple months, with the whole DC thing and James Gunn coming into power. But people need to remember that these guys just came in November, and a lot of these cancellation plans began over the summer and into the fall, and wait and see, and how much does this cost to shoot, and how much are we paying the actors. And, when Scrooge found out about that stuff, a.k.a., Zaslav, that was it. So, yeah. Anyway, now I want to hear from all of you guys and gals. Why do you think that Doom Patrol and Titans was canceled? Do you think it was because of budgeting, cost, or do you think there was something else in mind, like they just didn't want to do the shows anymore? Let me know in the comment section below. So, yeah, there you go. That's pretty much all I have to say about that. I have to run because I've got more stuff to do. There's streams of both GoldenEye and Fire Emblem and somehow Marvel Midnight Suns, which I still need to grind for. And I have no idea how I'm going to do that. Yeah, wish me luck, everybody. But, yeah, it's a very interesting time to be a DC fan. So if people didn't really listen to the big stuff, I believe that the show was canceled for budgeting. I think James Gunn, couldn't really stop it. I think that David Zaslav is a Scrooge and kind of a miser. And DC content in general just keeps getting canceled when some of those shows shouldn't be canceled. That's all I have to say about that. But rest assured, those of you that are fans of Titans and Doom Patrol, supposedly HBO Max has written very clear endings for both of those shows, so they won't be weird cliffhangers like Young Justice. So you'll see a proper end, supposedly. But anyway, that's it. That's all. Keep it locked here for more news on more stuff for Batman and TV, movies, video games, and occasionally comics when, they don't suck. All right, guys, I got to get ready for some stuff on my other channel, so I'll see you over there later today. Bye-bye.